Well, I need a dollar, that's what I need.
Don't we all? Aloe Black, I Need a Dollar. You're listening to the Sunday Session on talkSPORT and our sounds of the weekend. I Need a Dollar. Who can that relate to? Obviously, Antonio Conte, he wanted the money, he wasn't granted it, and the deal there fell through at Spurs. That's what we've been talking about just in the last kind of 15 minutes. What are Spurs going to do to make things right? With our sounds of the weekend, you can send us your suggestions, 8 to 10 89, but that one works perfectly for Mr. Conte not getting his cash.
Could have put top in front of it. I need top dollar. Top dollar is what I need.
Cash. I mean, it really is. I mean, what kind of money was he looking for as well? And not being able to get his way there. We need to talk about all of the clubs at the moment within the Premier League and even in the SPL, with Celtic not having a manager at the moment. Eddie Howe was pretty much on the dotted line, and then that fell through. With Spurs, it was Pochettino, then it was Conte. Both of them have fallen through. We've also got Palace and Everton manager lists at the moment as well. Ian Holloway alongside us this afternoon, alongside Perry Groves. Ian, who would you like to see come in at Crystal Palace next season?
Oh, that's a good question. I was hoping to give Roy another season, personally. And I felt that was because they're still in transition in the way that they play. I tried to change them from letting you have the ball and defending and then counter-attacking, which they did brilliantly. I had to go back to that to get them up. And the players that we had at the time didn't want the ball and pass it around. They didn't want to do that.
Play that from the back, centre half
and
splitting.
all of that. Yeah. And now I'm not saying everything about playing out of the back is what you want to do, but you need some sort of control in the Premier League to have the ball. When you have the ball, you can't just counter attack all the time. Leicester did it, didn't they? But the players that they had when they won it was unique, I felt.
And then when they lost it,
and when they lost
had Kante.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So some of those players have gone on to prove they were world class in that team, whether they were or not. Mm-hmm. So, I think Roy's done a brilliant job. And who would they take? A Frank Lampard for me would be a great take. I don't think Frank would want that job.
Why not?
I mean?
Why would that's a fantastic shout. I know it's a step back.
Can I be brutally honest? Where does Frank go after he's now had his club?
He's not getting another top six club at this particular time.
Maybe he's not, but I don't think he would see Palace in that light. And I'm not belittling Palace. I'm just saying that what's crazy about me, maybe Tottenham is a big enough job for someone like Frank, but the fans probably wouldn't have him, would they? Do you know what I mean?
And then he spoils his Chelsea legacy as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's not going to happen.
I mean, the funny thing is as a supporter, I support Bristol Rovers, so no one has it tougher than me. But it's we just gone down again. It's tough, It's tough being a supporter. But I wouldn't care where anyone's come from, providing they said the right things about our club and want to take us forward. And just off air there, I was talking about someone like a club legend. Sol Campbell, who's gone to Macclesfield. He went on to Southend, and Southend were in trouble, whether he took it or not. So
that club's been in trouble for like 20 years.
But Perry would just look to me and went, "What?
Yeah,
they won't want him because he went to Arsenal."
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Don't say that on air, and I've had to because
Daniel Levy's got enough problems as it is.
If you want somebody who played for you and was an ex-player and was an ex-brilliant player like Sol was, it's very difficult. We're running out of them, aren't we?
But is it not just a case of getting a good manager? Despite club rivalries, at this moment in time, Perry's like no chance.
No, because Ollie knows what it's like being a manager. If you've got good faith, which Frank Lampard at Chelsea, and you go for a little sticky patch, which he did, the fans will back you because you're a club. Sol Campbell will lose his first two games going back to Spurs, and they'll be waiting for him, and he'll be done and dusted. So on the Crystal Palace side, if you look at Roy Hodgson, the job there, I must admit, Ollie, towards the end of it, I think Roy started to look a little bit old. You know, when you get sort of your enthusiasm, because you had Ray Lewington there with him. He was sort of what I call like the number two, probably had to hand out a few rollickins now and again, rather than sort of Roy doing it. They were 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th under Roy Hodgson. And when he went in, I mentioned Frank de Boer earlier, they hadn't got a point when he saved them the first season. I think they'd lost their first 7, I think it was. But I think Palace is tailor-made for Sean Dyche.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's absolutely tailor-made for someone like Sean Dyche to go in there.
I actually read a report on him this morning. I think he's looking to extend his contract where he is.
At Burnley?
Yeah, so I think things are good for him there. But
That's why I didn't say it. You know, I know Sean really well. I really like Sean, and I've lived up in Burnley.
Right.
So I want to make it that I can still go back there, you know, if I'd have said that. What I'm saying, someone with his calibre.
Would you like to see Sean Dyche at Burnley?
I hope he gets a new, better deal, and I hope he goes where he wants to go. He's earned that right. You know, he took them up. They went back down. They stayed with him. He took them up again, and now they are looking better and better.
Yeah.
And
The thing is,
better
well,
all the time.
it's good news if he is going to sign a contract at Burnley.
Yeah.
It's good news for Burnley, not just because it's him, but that means that he's going to be given some funds to go and get some new players, because Burnley needs freshen up just a little bit. It needs some new faces going in there.
I got one, but everybody will raise their eyebrows, you know.
Don't date yourself, Ollie. Come on.
No. I don't know if I should say it.
Go on, just say it.
No,
Then I'll say one worse than you.
Chris Wilder. I think he's been fantastic the last 3 or 4 years. Last season, they didn't strengthen enough. He wanted some money from somewhere in the board. I felt they let him down.
Yeah.
For me, if I had a club, I would go out there and get him.
Palace have a job in their hands as well in this summer transfer window, because we know that Wilfried Zaha has expressed his interest to leave. Christian Benteke, he signed a new 2-year deal, but I do believe that there's around 8 or 9 players at Palace who are out of contracts this season. So not only are they looking for a manager, they're sorting out their team as well. Ian, what do you want to see done there?
You know, that was good business. Like, you know, at the end of the day, they had a spell towards the end of last year when they just got safe, where everything, you know, it needs a little bit of a shake-up. But Steve Parish has done such a fantastic job there, because I was there when we went up, and the daunting task to try and say what you're going to spend the next year and how the wages are going to incrementally grow, it was incredibly difficult. But Steve has done it. He's kept them there. The managers have changed. I think he's made good decisions. He's had some hard decisions to make. Frank de Boer got rid of him after 7 games because he hadn't won, because he wanted to change the style and, in other words, dominate the ball a little bit, so you don't feel so nervous when the opposition have got it. Because normally those ones at the top, if they get it and they have it a lot, you're going to lose.
The thing is that the Palace fans, when I saw them play, they were feeling nervous when they had the ball themselves playing out from the back. No, because you can tell the players hadn't bought into it. The players weren't comfortable. You know, it's very difficult going from one style of play to another in one pre-season. Well, very difficult.
That's the fantastic job at Leicester that Brendan Rodgers has managed to do in such a quick time. He's turned them from a counter-attacking team into a possession team, and they can still counter-attack. So he hasn't lost any of their good things. Yeah. So it's a tough job. So for me, they need to give it to someone very, very quickly. You know, and I'm sure Steve and Dougie Freeman, who's the football director of football, I'm sure they'll get it right.
The good thing for Palace fans is they've got Steve Parish and Dougie Freeman who have Palace's best interests at heart, who care about it. There's some owners that probably don't care about the club.
Would they give it back to Dougie? Dougie's a manager. Dougie could still be a manager, maybe.
You threw out there that maybe Sean Dyche would be the man. I've had a text from John, a Spurs fan. He said he would prefer to see Sean Dyche rather than Conte at Spurs.
That's a good show.
Controversial. You let us know your thoughts.